Yeah, hi Glenn. I hope you can hear it this time. I couldn't see anything on the Streamlabs app. I couldn't see who was there. It was very difficult to see what was going on. I was getting messages saying I was dropping going on. I was getting messages saying I was dropping frames, etc. And that was a complete disaster trying to stream with Streamlabs. Shouldn't you be at work or something, Glenn? There we go. I was wondering whether doing these live sessions would be better than doing question and answer videos, taking comments in videos and doing a specific one to cover comments. Starting to wonder whether doing live streams would be a better way of doing it. Vector Luke, hello, yes. Live in Germany and you want to buy a Kona. Good choice. It is most certainly the best electric car out there to buy at the moment, in my opinion. There'll be others that come along soon that might be better, but I'm not sure if they're going to beat the package of value and range, so good choice. I do like coming to these Instavolt chargers. It's 48 kilowatts I'm getting at the moment. I'm very, very happy with that. So what's going on out there in the world with you all? How come you're watching YouTube? Car has a speed of 150 to 160 kilometers. Yeah, it'll do that. No problem at all. It won't be very efficient though. 150 to 160 kilometers an hour. Yeah, it should be working. Yeah, I think a lot of people tell me that I should be working as well, Glenn, but I'd much rather not. So again, the reason why I was doing this live stream mostly today was to test Streamlabs. I'd seen that Bjorn uses it, and I saw his video where he compared YouTube to Streamlabs, and he was basically saying the video quality was higher in Streamlabs, but from what I can see, the biggest difference is actually the focus on donations. Streamlabs seems to be orientated towards getting money in on the channel with that banner that goes across the screen telling you what donations you've got. So I think, to be honest, that's probably why he uses that more. But I'm finding YouTube works much better for me. Sorry, I missed that question. I wish the only problem with this app is it pops up the messages so I can see you, but then it disappears. How long do I think the free charging will last? That's a really good question, especially with someone like Instavolt, because if they're on debit card where you just tap it to authorize, they are being charged for that authorization apparently, so it's costing them money. I guess they're building data of who uses chargers and when across their network. They must be using it for that purpose. So I can't believe it's been going on this long. So I'd think probably sometime next year we're going to see these Instavolt chargers being a lot more available because they're not going to be free anymore. So I really don't know. I don't know enough about the charging industry to be able to comment why they're still free, some of them, and why they're not. I think some of them, my understanding is they go free when the online capability of connecting for the authorization doesn't work. Yeah, Glenn, your heating not working. It is a challenge in the car if you're driving longer distance, keeping the heat correct. But for me, I find it's the centre vents, the two centre vents only, that cause the problem. So you can either shut them off or change the heating settings to only heat the screen and your feet. One of the things I notice is if you flick it into auto for the heating climate system, then it automatically adjusts the fan speed, but equally it only directs the air to your feet by default. So that seems to be what it thinks is the fastest way of heating the cabin. So direction of the vents, I think, is the challenge, but it does seem daft to have a climate control set to 22, 23 degrees, and then all of a sudden 15, 16 degree air comes out of the vents. I don't think it's a very smart solution, but somewhere in the background there is something smart, isn't there, managing the amount of air that comes in. Yeah, I saw that, Alan. Somebody doing that. I tested that myself today as well. Looking at the range meter, the guessometer, and putting on the heating drops your range down. But then if you change the dial for your fan speed, the GOM range goes up and down, almost as if the fan speed is a direct input into your GOM. Yeah, it did exactly the same on mine today as well. So I guess fan speed makes a big difference. It was dropping off about 3 or 4 miles for putting the heater on, but then as I increased the fan speed, it dropped a couple more miles off as well. I will see that message again in a moment, Glenn, when another one pops up. It's the only problem with this live stream, that the messages that you're sending, I can see them, but then they disappear. They're not persistent on the screen, and I can't scroll through them. Not that I'm aware, anywhere. Excuse my finger all over the screen. But no. No, I agree, Glenn, not very smart. There are a few things like that with the car, aren't there, that although, you know, we absolutely love the car, there are some really annoying things. So one of the things I could share with you is I think the biggest thing that really bugs me, it's obviously you can't see it while the camera's focused on me, but the USB socket that you plug your phone into for Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, there's only one socket, and that's the same socket you use for plugging your USB stick in for your music. So there's two features. I want to be able to play my music on my USB stick, and I want to be able to use SatNav on my phone, say Waze or Google Maps, and I can't because there's one socket. I have to choose one or the other. Now, most people would say, oh, but stick your music on your phone and then you won't have a problem. Well, the interface for playing music through the USB stick is much better. It's a much better folder list capability than on the phone. So using, what do I use? I use Shuttle as an app for my music, and also Google Music, but you have to configure playlists basically. So you've got to spend loads of time configuring your music into playlists so you can easily access your music. I would much rather have two sockets down here, and that bugs the hell out of me that there's two features but only one socket. It's just a huge oversight in my mind that I just can't understand why they would not put a second socket down there. And no, you can't use extension sockets or 2-into-1 sockets or anything like that. It just doesn't work. So yeah, there are some annoying things with the car. Yeah, while I'm doing that, I suppose I could turn this session into what else annoys me about the car. The air vents, I think, are another really annoying one. Is it possible to upgrade onboard charger to fast AC charging at home? No, I don't think so. It's maximum 7.2 kilowatt, and that's its rating. So unless you are extremely good with electronics and wish to fiddle with the car's electronics, there's no way you could get a different charge rate on here, is my opinion, but I'm not aware of that. If that's what you meant, I'm guessing you might be from a European country or something that has 3-phase supply, and therefore you're thinking of getting 21, 22 kilowatt charging on AC. Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? But no, there's no point in having 3-phase supply to charge the car because the Kona maxes out at 7.2 kilowatts. To be honest, I've never had the need for more. With an EV, you have to plan your charging anyway, so it's not difficult to plan it ahead of time. Yeah, 3-phase would obviously reduce the charging times if you could charge at 22 kilowatts, but you know, does it really make a big difference? It only makes you lazy, I suppose. That it basically means you're going to think, oh, I fancy going out, I want to charge the car, and you want to give it a boost. Well, you know, I can do that already on 7.2 kilowatts, but it takes a couple of hours to have that boost, and it's, I guess we always want more. It's like wanting more range, wanting more charging speeds would be good. But if you had 3-phase, I wonder if it would ramp it down when it's cold first thing in the morning anyway. So Yeah, I suppose if you've got three-phase at home, it'd be nice to have it, but I'm sure it's fine without. The two cup holders. Yeah, why are they different sizes? One's large and one's small. Is that honestly for small cups? Yeah, using cards, Peter, that bugs me as well, and I say it bugs me. It doesn't whatsoever good because I don't use any RFID cards or any applications or subscriptions at all, and I'm going to last as long as I possibly can not doing so. I hear so many people moaning about Ecotricity not working or Ecotricity being down or different places being awkward or they didn't have the right app and hence they couldn't charge. Well, basically choose which chargers you go to is my opinion, and that seems to be from what I'm experiencing other people are doing. It's you find the chargers that you like in locations that you like and you're familiar with them, and then you keep using the same ones. It's only if you're in a role where you oh, we've got somebody pulling up next to us in a charge for the charge. It's OVO Energy in a looks like a Nissan ENV 200 coming for a charge. Yeah, I think people are using just the chargers they're familiar with. So if you're not, unless you're commuting around the country and just using chargers wherever you have to go, then I think people do just stick to the same chargers. I still haven't even tried a Polar yet, so one day I'll have to do that. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm curious as to how much actual data I'm going to be using on this connection, so if I check that later, I might actually cut you off. If I do, I apologise. There we go. Yeah, Peter, when we do have to pay eventually, I guess the majority of people are like myself at the moment, using this charger because it is free. I had the free time. I'm using it because it is free. I wouldn't come here and use this charger if it wasn't free because it's near my home. So why would I pay more for my charging at a public charger than I can do when I'm home, when the charger I'm using is close to my home? I'm only likely to use chargers like this, a public charger, when I'm away from home, when I'm out on business or a social trip, etc. So yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of fun with chargers in the future because there's so many more plug-in hybrids coming out, isn't there? And they are going to be trying to plug in all over the place. Hopefully they won't be able to plug in on rapids. But with more plug-in hybrids on the road, they will take up the charger slots more often. So we'll actually find, although there's more chargers going in, there'll be less availability of them. It's a challenging time ahead on seeing what's happening. The number of new chargers going in has got to advance faster than the rate at which people are actually trying to use them. Having said that, this charger here, this is probably only the second time out of about 6 or 7 times I've used it that somebody else has either arrived or been using it. So it's actually really, really good. Curiously, if anyone's out there listening right now at the moment, could you let me know, can you actually hear the music through this? I've got music playing in the car. I'd be very interested if you can actually hear it, or whether it's too subtle in the background. All right. Is that any better? Thank you. Cheers, Alan. One of the things I don't know is whether to have some music playing in the background, whether that makes any live streams better or not, so it depends whether you can hear me over the top of it or not. Okay, this is only going to be a short live stream today. I'm not actually going to be here that long. Nova Scotia. Hi, Ian. You'll have to remind me, Ian, whereabouts is Nova Scotia? How far north is that? My geography of America is absolutely appalling. I really couldn't tell you where many of the states are at all. I haven't travelled very much. in America or Canada, so I'm really not familiar with the places. East Coast, okay. And what's the weather like on the East Coast in Canada at the moment? Not on this one, Peter. No, this should be copyright free, so I shouldn't have any problems whatsoever. I hope. I do not want to strike against the channel. East coast of Canada. So how far north is that of Quebec then? Woke up to snow this morning, changing to rain later. Yeah, it's rain and miserable here, Ian. I did visit once. I did a 2-week drive tour, starting in Boston and Massachusetts, did Cape Cod and Martha's Vineyard, and then drove up into Canada, across the border, to a place called Hovey Manor. I think that's just Hovey Manor, is that just north of Quebec? So I had to drive through Quebec to get to the other side of it. Lovely lakeside retreat. That's the only time I've ever been out to Canada. Such a shame that I can't take the Kona over there. It does look like a great driving country. Ah, okay. High wind and rain. Yeah, you would not want to be a truck driver on a bridge today, would you? It's about 45 miles an hour here at the moment. Trees are moving everywhere. That's a bit boring, isn't it? I shouldn't be talking about the weather, should I? While we're live streaming. It's very kind of you all to join me. It would be rather boring if I went on live stream and there was nobody there at all, so I do appreciate you popping by, saying hello. Ah, that's a very interesting one. Let's have a look. Let's see if we can have him on camera. Cracker? Cracker? Cracker, what are you doing? He's a good boy. Just say hello, dude. Who's this? Hopefully you can just see him in the back behind the third armrest. What you doing? Hey, good boy. There we go. I'd almost forgotten he was in the car, to be honest. Yeah, the weather, of course it is. I've just been a numpty. I've dropped my keys down the back of the seat and I can't get them. So excuse my painful expressions while I collect the keys. It's 6 months to get a Kona in Finland. Is that how long the waiting list is at the moment? Yeah. Cracker, do you want to go for a ride in the Kona? You know better, don't you? You're already in the Kona, you daft dog. I'm very surprised actually he hasn't jumped through that. Sorry to keep talking about Cracker, but in the last car he used to just jump across the back seats over the top of the headrests, and he'd want to sit in the back seats, but he's been very, very good in this car and hasn't jumped through once, which, while he's dry and clean, I actually don't mind him in the car. He can jump around over the leather. I don't mind that at all. He's got quite soft paws, but when he's filthy after a walk, I wouldn't really want him bouncing around the inside of the car. Did you want to go for a walk later, Cracker? No, you're really not wanting to come out and have a look, are you? Right, I'm going to leave it there, everyone. Sorry if I've missed your questions on screen, because they do fly past very, very quickly and I don't get to see them all. But I'm going to call it a day on this live stream, and thank you so much for watching. The test of testing Streamlabs was an absolute failure. I can't use it over a Wi-Fi connection here on the charger because it uses too much data, and I get dropouts on the stream. Yeah, you have a good day too, Glenn. Look forward to catching up soon. It's only a week or so, isn't it? And or a week or two, and then we'll see some more Kona owners all together. Thank you, everyone. Take care and see you again soon.